Fit Grind, and today we're going to go over the full review and breakdown of the Rogue 2.0 Monster Lite Rig. Kind of give you my opinions on this rig, some of the things that you can customize about it, some of the things that we customized with this rig, and kind of why we went about purchasing this over other options. So before we get to the review, you can check us out at fitgrindapparel.com. I have the men's performance shirt and the men's performance shorts on right now. We have a full men's and women's apparel line. I'll leave the link in the description below. I'll also leave a discount code, so if you use the code ENJOY10 at checkout, you can get 10% off your entire purchase. But like I said, I'll leave that in the description below. You can also use the code FITGRIND at gymsupplementscience.com, and you can get 15% off your entire order of gym subs. I'll leave that in the description as well. If you haven't done so yet, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, hit that notifications button for more videos, workout equipment reviews, workouts, all kinds of information. That like, comment, subscribe helps the channel grow, so I appreciate that. All right, so starting off the review. This will be the review of the Monster Lite Rig 2.0 from Rogue. So this is the Monster version, this is the Monster Lite, so that's what we'll be reviewing today. But kind of the couple different options that you initially have when you're choosing a rig on Rogue.com. You can, one, select your dimensions and the size of the rig that you want. So with the Monster Lite version, you have a couple different options as far as how big you want your rig to be. You can get a 10 foot, a 14 foot, a 20 foot, or a 24 foot. The one that we have is the 14 foot, and I'll kind of go through the differences between all of those. Your 10 foot is going to have 2 squat stations, and then it's going to have a pull-up bar on both sides, and then you're going to have an uprights. So you're only going to have 2 squat stations on that one. If you want more than 2 squat stations, you have to get a 14 or bigger foot rig in order to have 4 squat stations. So the 14 foot is going to have 4 squat stations, and it's going to have 2 pull-up bars on each side in the middle connecting those. And then you have your 20 foot and your 24 foot option. The 20 foot is still going to have 4 squat stations. It's just going to have an extra pull-up bar on each side of your squat stations. And then that 24 foot rig is going to have 6 squat stations. And then on each side of your squat station, you'll have a pull-up bar in between each rig. So those are the different options that you have that you can customize depending on what you're using it for, the space that you have. In this space, we do a lot of personal training and small group training. So we went with the 14-inch option, which has 4 squat stations, and then the 2 pull-up bars in the middle on both sides. But obviously there's plenty of pull-up bars around the perimeter of the rig where there shouldn't be a shortage of pull-up bars. And that's kind of one thing about the versatility that's really nice about this is you could be using that squat station and you could still go right to the side of the rig and you could have a pull-up bar right there, right on the available, where you wouldn't have to take your weight off if you're doing squats or anything like that and you're in a circuit. The other option that you have 3 different variations of the rig. So you have the basic, the standard 2.0, and the racked version. We have the standard 2.0 version. The only difference between the basic and the standard is if you're going to do muscle-ups, bar muscle-ups on your rig, if you're planning to do bar muscle-ups, you'll have to get the standard 2.0 version. If you get that basic 2.0 rig version, it's going to have you're not going to have a center pull bar in the middle where you can get on top of and do bar muscle-ups. So that's one thing where you're going to need to get that standard, which is a little bit of an upcharge. And then the only difference between the standard and the racked version is the racked version just has an extra cross member upright inside of the squat rack that just basically creates a power rack inside of your rig. So, which is also an upcharge as well. So you have a couple different options. You can change your dimension, and then you can also change some different pieces inside of that rig, whether you want the basic, the standard, or the racked version. One really nice thing about the rig is it's going to be compatible with all of your Monster Lite accessories from Rig, and really it's going to be compatible with a lot of other brands too as well. You'll have to check the dimensions on if there's certain pieces that you're going out and looking, make sure that it's going to be compatible with your Rogue 2.0 rig as far as the hole spacing. But that's the nice thing is you have a lot of different customizations that you can add, and I'll kind of take you through the different pieces that we added to our rig and kind of why we did those additions on a rig. It just increases the functionality of your rig, and you can do more exercises, just be more useful with your space and with that rig. So I'll take you through all the different customizations we did to our rig.
One of the things that we added on our rig was a double wall ball target. These are the double wall ball Rogue Monster Lite wall ball targets. Especially with small group and personal training, just a great addition that you can add to your rig. That bottom wall ball target is the 9-foot and the top one is the 10-foot, but just another great addition that you can add to your rig that just expands the amount of exercises that you can do on the rig, and also while it's right there if you're doing a circuit or a superset. We also took one of the dual crossmember pull-up bars off and added a 70-inch crossmember beam. And then underneath of that is an extension kit you can get from Rogue as well for the Monster Lite. That way we could hang some rings and a rope for some rope climbs.
So next we're going to talk about the different accessories that we chose to kind of include on a rig, just to increase the functionality of this rig. We put, so like I was saying, we use this for personal training and small group training. So we put rings around the rig. We have 4 different stations for rings. Rings are super versatile. It's one thing where you can just add it to your pull bar. You can do all sorts of different movements in it with progressions or regressions of each exercise. It really increases that functionality where if you're in a small group setting or in a personal training setting and you're bringing all of your necessary equipment to the rig and really centering it around those compound movements, you have your rings right here where you can add different accessory movements. Additions that we've added to the rig, which again, just help kind of increase the functionality of the rig and of the space, is one is the Monster Lite hip thruster bench, which is super cool. One of the best accessory exercises you can do for your posterior chain is a hip thrust. And with that, when you traditionally do it with a bench and you kind of get your plate set up, you get your bar set up, and you put the hip thruster pad on, it just takes a long time to set up. And when you start to really go heavy, that bench can really start to move on you. So that's one thing that's super cool, where just adjusting with 2 pins, you can adjust your height up and down, and you can instantly do hip thrusts in that station, which we utilize a lot with the rig. Another thing that we use a lot that is super cool too as well is the Rogue Matador, which is the Rogue Monster Lite Matador. But with this, you can instantly have a station where you're doing dips. So that's something cool where you don't have to have a separate piece of equipment to take up space in either your home gym or in your personal training or your small group studio. You can have a station where you have dips, just easy with a pin. All of the attachments with Monster Lite just come right in and out of the pin. Put it in, pull it right out, put it back up against the upright, put that pin right in. Super cool. Another thing that we have, so we have 3 kids, and our kids spend a lot of time in the gym. So something where they always want to do pull-ups, so you might kind of sympathize with this too as well, and then you got to lift them up, which there's no problem with that. But one thing that's pretty cool is Rogue makes a Monster Lite Kids pull-up bar where you can set it at lower heights. So for example, instead of reaching up to this pull-up bar up here, you set the heights, and then your kids can do pull-ups. And this is super stable. There's not gonna be any problem with this. I can hang on this, and there would be 0 problem. So kind of put your mind at ease as far as your kids doing pull-ups on it, which makes it fun, especially when they're in the gym. And me and Alyssa are working out. It's just something that they like to do too as well, and they can feel comfortable with that instead of hopping up to a pull-up bar and then having to hop down, and it just makes it fun for them too as well. So that's another attachment you can get. Another attachment that is super cool that we chose to get is the leg roller. Now you can do one of our, again, another great posterior chain accessory exercises. You can do Nordic curls with this. So get your feet in here and do basically like an eccentric hamstring curl where you're doing a Nordic curl, letting yourself down super slow on the way down, catch yourself and push up and pushing yourself back up. You can also use it as a preacher curl station, single arm preacher curl. The versatility is super versatile. Really, there's countless exercises that you can do with it, but that's another thing that we chose to get that's just, again, increases the versatility of a rig like this. So this has been the review of the Rogue 2.0 Monster Lite Rig. Overall, I would highly recommend getting a rig. Now, if you're if you have a home gym, obviously you might not have the space for something like this, and you might have to go with either 10 foot or look at other things like squat stands or squat racks or getting power racks. But if you have the space, I think these are awesome. They're super versatile, super functional, to where you can have multiple stations for any sort of compound movements. You have a bunch of pull-up bars. If you have multiple people working out with you, that's super helpful too as well. In the setting that we have it in, it works really well, where we have a lot of personal training and small group sessions throughout the day. So we can have multiple trainers training at one time, or a small group class and a couple personal training sessions going on at the same time. And that's something that really helps with the space, versus if we just had a squat rack or two. Those would be taken up and they're just not as versatile. You can't, you can only use it for kind of one exercise. You can't use it for, say you're doing a squat and a pull-up superset. You wouldn't be able to do it for that. So it's there's a super high application for something like this. And I would highly recommend it. Now, with Rogue, as you know, you're gonna pay the price for something like this. But as far as the construction of Rogue, and how it kind of stands up, you guys know I always recommend Rogue. I love Rogue products. They have super high quality, they have great customer service, and they just make products that are built to last. They overbuild the hell out of products, and the products just look good. So overall, I would highly recommend the Rogue 2.0 Monster Lite Rig. If you're looking at it, I would say go for it. You're not going to regret the purchase. You're going to love having it in your space, whether that's a home gym or a personal training studio or a CrossFit gym or whatever your application for this is. You're going to love having it. So be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. That helps the channel grow. Let me know some things that you guys, some different attachments that you guys included on your rig, if you guys have one of these, or if you're looking to purchase a rig. Kind of let me know some of the different attachments that you're putting on yours, or that you're most excited about maybe putting on in the future. I'd love to hear from you, get some ideas too as well. So stay tuned for other videos. We're gonna have other videos of workout equipment, workouts, all sorts of reviews coming up soon. So stay tuned. I'll catch you guys in the next one.